Good afternoon. A very busy big match programme for you today. A day really when strikers were at the centre of attention. There's Gary Bannister, 9 goals in his last 7 games. He's in the Queen's Park Rangers line-up at Ipswich. Cyril Regis makes his first appearance for Coventry after his £300,000 move from West Brom. Coventry against Newcastle. And our special report today is on the game between Everton and Aston Villa. Well, you can see there's plenty to get through. Let's start straight away then at Portman Road, Ipswich. Terry Butcher with the young Ipswich mascot for the day. Well, Terry seems a surefire selection as a centre-back when England opened their World Cup campaign on Wednesday against Finland. But today, for the 4th successive game, he's at left-back for Ipswich. And this is because of a reshuffle that sees young Ian Cranston at the centre of the defence with Russell Osman. It's the same Ipswich side that earned a draw in the Milk Cup at Derby on Wednesday. It's a side that's yet to put together a worthwhile run this season. And in the Rangers side, one of Butcher's rivals for that England shirt, Terry Fenwick, who played in those South American games in the summer, and now he's got a new partner for Rangers at the back today. Steve Wicks has got a groin injury, and Alan MacDonald, 21 years old yesterday, gets his first game of the season. The referee is Jim Ashworth of Rutland. And Ipswich get us away in blue shirts, white shorts, attacking the goal to our left. Rangers today in a change strip of red and black hoops. Ipswich with only 2 league wins this season against Arsenal and Aston Villa, but unbeaten here at Portman Road as Butcher hits a long one forward towards Davray. Rangers, for their part, haven't won away this season, although they have drawn 3 out of 4 away games in the Cannon League. Free kick to Queen's Park Rangers. There's Alan MacDonald, who was 21 years old yesterday, and in fact is in the Northern Ireland squad that plays Israel in Belfast in midweek. Faraday has been livelier than anybody really on this Rangers side so far. Gets the free kick now.
What's the show, man, Eric? That's it, son, that's good. Well done.
Gregory with the free kick. Deep towards MacDonald, who'd gone up, but MacDonald was shoving Butcher. Well, Sunderland's in there. Gates hoping to make something of it. Zondervan there as well. Gets it to McCall. Here's Burley. Gates the dummy. Sunderland on the turn, and a fine save by Hucker. Oh, it was a lovely dummy by Gates. And a marvellous turn by Sunderland. And what good work by Peter Hucker. A really fine save. Michael White. Little touch there from Fillery. Butcher. Sunderland, a nicely nodded pass there, and well, a typical Gates strike, although sadly for Ipswich it was always a yard or two too high, but a lovely nod back there, and Gates hitting it first time, curling away and over the top. Butcher's header. Nice little flick that time by Sunderland, but a foul on him by Fenwick. A free kick to Ipswich. A ball. Sunderland flicking it on. Gates also, that looked like handball by Gregory, and a penalty. MacDonald holds his head. And the penalty goes to Ipswich for the handball there by Gregory. You can see it quite clearly. And Eric Gates puts the ball on the spot. He scored 7 this season. And looking to make it 8. And does so. Well, there was no doubt about the penalty. There were no protests at all from Rangers. And there was little doubt that once Hucker started going that way and Gates put it sublimely in the other corner, that Ipswich would go into the lead. Well, Eric Gates, who's had some 13 seasons here, and it was only for the first time last season that he was their top scorer with 13. And he's away their top scorer this season now with 8. A little flick through. Michael White and a corner right on half-time. Both MacDonald and Fenwick are going forward for it. Into time added on for stoppages at the end of the first half. That's Davray's header. And another corner. Stainrod with it. Cooper, good catch. As the whistle goes for half-time, and Ipswich have had the better of it. A stunning save by Hucker from Sunderland, and then 3 minutes from time, or from half-time, Eric Gates puts Ipswich ahead from the penalty spot after a handball by John Gregory. Half-time then at Portman Road. It's Ipswich 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Yes, it's Eric Gates' year, and certainly today it's his day. It's his penalty just before half-time that has put Ipswich into an interval lead. So Rangers get the second half underway. As Stainrod finds Faraday. Fillery. Now Neal. Somehow, miraculously, the ball stayed in before it went behind for the goal kick. Curious season for Rangers, really. They've scored 23 goals in their last 7 games, but twice this season have been hit for 5 by Spurs and by Newcastle. Davray. McCall. Beating the referee as well there. Had to look a bit lively to get out of his way. Gates sweeping it here for Burley. He's got Sunderland away on the right. Gates has made a little run through him, but here's McCall again in a bit of space. Oh, my goodness, that was curling away. At first it looked as though there was no problem at all, and suddenly Hucker had to make quite a save. Look at the curl on it. And in the end, Hucker just turned it round, but while all that was happening, there was an offside decision given against Ipswich. But it didn't stop us enjoying that little moment of excitement and the good keeping by Hucker. Here's Putney. He was a lad that had a little time at Charlton and at Fulham and at Spurs, and they all thought he wasn't going to be quite good enough, Putney. He drifted out of the leagues, played non-league, and he's way up there in that penalty area looking for something now. But in the end, it was Davray who almost got in there. But it's a goal kick. And the cross in here by Sunderland was a really dangerous one. It may have taken a slight deflection there. But in the end, Rangers' Terry Fenwick got back, and that was an important save. Stainrod whipping in a good cross. Osman there. Sunderland. Little touch. Zondervan. Here's McCall. Swept ball there. Using their flanks so well. And here's Trevor Putney again. Zondervan. Oh, Sunderland. And it comes for Zondervan again. And another penalty. There's a touch there. Well, there might even have been a handball there outside the box. As Ian Dawes comes in there. Zondervan goes down. And Eric Gates has a chance to repeat the performance that he gave just 2 minutes before half-time, and to give Ipswich that little cushion of a 2-goal lead and his 9th of the season. Can Hucker stop him this time? He can! Well, Davray crossing it in. Good work there by Hucker. But there's some more work probably for him to do yet. No, it's away. It's a throw to Ipswich, but Hucker, the hero of the moment, he got it right that time. It wasn't a particularly good penalty, but Hucker did well to save it for all that. It stays at 1-0. Osman for Ipswich. Sunderland getting in first, possibly, and Hucker doing well. Stainrod, touch wasn't good enough. Butcher was in for Ipswich. Gregory winning it in the air, and a free kick with a foul, I think probably by Ian Cranson. Well, Ipswich have had so much more of it, but it only needs one effective strike by Rangers. Just the one goal separating the two sides. Faraday on the far side, quite easily beaten in the air by the massive Butcher. And there's Butcher again, 6'4" of him. Neil. And there's Butcher again. But this time it's Fillery. No, he slips, so Putney takes over. Gates. Now Burley. Zondervan beginning to play some enterprising football, Ipswich now. And Putney trying to get in on the far side, but it'll be a corner. Remarkable is, for all the pressure, this is only the second Ipswich corner of the game. Sunderland trying to turn it back, and played just wide by Osman, who'd gone up for the corner and had stayed up. Very nearly made the second goal for Ipswich. Sunderland turning it back there acrobatically, and there's Russell Osman. Well, in fact, it was 3 or 4 yards wide. Micklewhite. And at the other end, a goalkeeper who has yet had a serious shot to save. Stainrod. Now Micklewhite. Now he might have one to save. Oh! Well, for all the pressure that Queen's Park Rangers have been under, it just needs one break like that, or something like it at any rate, to bring it all level. Micklewhite getting through there, hitting it right across the face of that goal, missing the far post by no more than a couple of feet. Bannister. Oh, it's gone past Zondervan. Ooh. Almost went all the way until Ian Cranson got a very important challenge there. Who's scored 9 times in the last 7 games, but hasn't had much of a look in so far. But now the corner coming up. Played in again by Stainrod, and it very nearly went in there. Gregory! 1-1. 3 Ipswich players and the goalkeeper sitting distraught in the penalty area. So much pressure. A at the other end of the field, and then with that one important break, Rangers have got themselves level. John Gregory, the man who conceded the penalty, is the man who rammed home this shot with a ferocious left-foot drive through the whole crowd of those blue shirts, beyond Cooper, into the back of the net. 1-1. And Ipswich with 4 up at the moment. Rangers with plenty back. Here's Zondervan. Now Sunderland. Dawes has gone with him. Alan Sunderland to Eric Gates. Sunderland again. And well, Rangers were looking to see whether the flag was going up, but it didn't go up. And Davre's header very nearly brought all the points for Ipswich. Yes, the ball is being placed for a goal kick and not for a free kick. They were so close there, Ipswich, to getting what surely would have been a winner with 2 minutes remaining. Early. And let's still get the points. Zondervan now, with Rangers peddling back, knowing they've got some more defending to do as Putney now gets possession. Off the referee, the crowd didn't like that, but they claim a free kick, they claimed a penalty. In the end, they got nothing for the foul on Eric Gates. Indeed, whether it was inside or outside the box, it's hard to say, but it certainly looked a foul. It came off the referee. I think that's really what confused everything for the start. And it was probably outside the box in any case if it was a foul. So time added on, and very little of it. And although Ipswich had so much more of the game, the points in the end are shared, with Eric Gates having scored the penalty just before half-time and then missed one in the second half, and John Gregory, who conceded that first penalty, rifling in a left-foot drive that meant a point for Queen's Park Rangers. Final score then at Portman Road, it's Ipswich 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1.
Well, with all their pressure, it was a little surprising to see Ipswich held to a draw, but I suppose in a way we should have known. Both teams are draw experts. That's the 6th in 10 games for Ipswich, the 5th in 9 games for QPR. Next is action from Coventry, from Everton, and that's after the break. And welcome back. Now Coventry City against Newcastle United. Coventry coming straight from, well, that disastrous defeat against 3rd Division Walsall in the Milk Cup, but now looking to one man to put a lot of things right, as commentator Martin Tyler now explains.
Cyril Regis sets out on a fresh adventure in the sky blue of Coventry City, 2 years to the day since he last played for England. Regis and the also recently signed Peter Barnes hope to rekindle their representative careers here by improving the poorest scoring record in the First Division. No wholesale changes after the Milk Cup humiliation by Walsall, but right back Kirk Stevens returns after missing 8 games with a knee injury. Pat Hurd from Sheffield Wednesday, Jack Charlton's first acquisition, is back in Newcastle's midfield. Hurd was cup-tied in midweek. While Chris Waddle has a point to prove today. Waddle, now in the England under-21 squad, was with Coventry as a schoolboy, but he was not offered a professional contract. Malcolm Heath is today's referee, full of praise for the Coventry City ground staff in getting the pitch fit for play after the vandalism here in the night. Newcastle United kick-off, Coventry City defending the goal, behind which Bobby Gould, their manager, will shortly be sitting, going into the crowd to personally check out new security measures at the ground today. And here's Chris Waddle. Malcolm Brown can play in the first cross. And Coventry just a little tentative in getting the ball away. But now they have a free kick. Peter Barnes £65,000 from Leeds United, the opportunity to link up again with Cyril Regis, with whom he played, of course, for West Bromwich Albion. Coventry still feeling the pain of their Milk Cup exit to 3rd Division Walsall here on Tuesday. Bobby Gould saying the scar will remain, but here's Gibson with a chance to turn some tears into joy. He didn't strike it well, Coventry's leading scorer, with 4 goals this season, allowing Kevin Carr to make a save. Regis, Gibson going behind him. Anderson there for Newcastle. And away from Hibbett. And John Anderson going beyond MacDonald, who finds him. And now Beardsley. Butterworth's tackle penalised. And Newcastle play the free kick short. Beardsley, one little drop of the shoulders, lost 2, and it was Hurd who met it first time, and was perhaps a little unfortunate that it didn't go in. He almost met it too strongly. Any sort of deflection after a spot of impish magic from Beardsley, the driven cross, and Hurd got it too strongly. And Waddle got behind Stevens, MacDonald waiting in the middle, and MacDonald! Well, Ogrizovic kept it out. Neil MacDonald, the moment Chris Waddle was in possession, was aware that a cross was coming in, and he tore into the middle as Waddle delivered, and Ogrizovic somehow blocked it with the help of Adams. Away by Peake. Donald turning into Barnes, and then finally booted forward for Coventry by Mickey Adams. And a misplaced pass by Wharton, and Bennett so close. It almost looked as though the bounce of the ball was going to take it in, but Anderson had not given it up and managed to scramble it clear after Wharton's mistake. Bennett clipped it past the goalkeeper. There was spin on the ball that seemed to be taking it inside the post. Anderson made sure it didn't get there. 25 minutes gone. Barnes with the corner. And only after the ball had gone out of play by Carr. Well, Dave Bennett will reflect on a missed opportunity. Just really wasn't decisive enough when he was face to face with Kevin Carr. Barnes. Away from Brown. Needs help now. Got it from Hibbett. Stevens. A lot more passion about the second half at Highfield Road. Ginn with a good forward run from midfield into space that was left because Bennett was moving infield. Bennett. Out from Wharton. Butterworth. Hibbett. And Gibson and Hibbett. Anderson dribbles the ball to safety after Carr had got his fingertips to Hibbett's effort, which, rather like the strikes at goal in the first half, was rather under-hit. MacDonald, and into the midriff of Ogrizovic. Action at both ends. But Kenny Hibbett got in behind Newcastle United then, but was trying to roll the ball past Carr, who half stopped it. The clearance completed by Anderson. Regis with the back heel. Will obviously take time to for his teammates to read the intentions of Cyril Regis. McCreary, not for the first time, involved in a tidying up operation in Newcastle's midfield. Heard. And Hibbett. Now, was that handball? I think it is. The linesman gave the penalty, made the signal. It was a spinning bounce that Hibbett controlled with the upper arm. And perfect understanding between the two officials involved. The linesman saw it. He signalled, and Malcolm Heath pointed to the penalty spot. Hibbett is booked for his protests. "16 minutes into the second half. Peter Beardsley is the penalty taker for Newcastle United. And he scores! Newcastle in front. Beardsley, who's developed, and we were talking about it before the game, a happy knack of scoring when the big match cameras are here. And he does it today from the penalty spot for his 5th goal of the season, 3 of them penalties. Regis. Here's Wharton. Stevens. In goes Regis, and Carr was almost caught in no man's land. On the edge of his 6-yard box, and Regis got his head there first, angled it down. Carr starting to come off his line, and Regis almost embarrassed him. Regis trying to knock it down for Gibson, and he was up well on that occasion. Gibson. It almost came into his stride. It will come for Gin, but the whistle has gone. And maybe Newcastle United were relieved to hear that whistle, even though it's for a free kick against them. After Gibson had been fouled, Gin was accelerating into the clear. Play pulled back. So Barnes and Hibbett again over the ball, and Hibbett curls it brilliantly. That will make him feel better. The penalty given against him, and he was furious about that. But Kenny Hibbett gets revenge. We've seen him do it so often from free kicks over the years with Wolverhampton Wanderers. He totally baffled Kevin Carr. Kenny Hibbett brings Coventry level with 15 minutes left and scores against the club for which his brother played. His brother Terry Hibbett, of course. One-one. Waddle. Oh. Just when Coventry were celebrating getting level, Chris Waddle let fly. And you do feel if Bobby Robson loses any of his first-choice strikers with injury over this weekend, that Chris Waddle might just be ready for a call-up. Saunders. He's 33 years old now, Kenny Hibbett. He's one of the few players, maybe the only player left in league football, who played in the days of Bradford Park Avenue, his first club. Funnily enough, the previous 4 visits from Newcastle United to Highfield Road have all ended in drawn matches. And it's looking very much like a 5th successive draw between the two clubs. on this ground, but Newcastle might have a chance to alter the balance of power. After their heartaches in midweek, it will be shattering for Coventry City to lose a goal now. We've had 4 minutes of stoppage time, and Beardsley ends Coventry's risk of the goal coming from that set piece. Tried to take it quickly. It's the last act of the match, a match in which Kenny Hibbett emerged as the focal figure, a judge to have handled to give away a penalty, and then producing a vintage free kick for Coventry City's equaliser. Peter Beardsley was Newcastle's scorer from the spot. They are now unbeaten in their last 6 games, and on a day when a win would have lifted some of the gloom from midweek, Coventry City have to settle for a draw here. Coventry City 1, Newcastle United 1.
Yes, 1-1 the final score. A bit of a mixed day there for Kenny Hibbett. It's Everton against Aston Villa at Goodison Park, and things seem to have swung around a bit on Merseyside, with Liverpool losing at Tottenham the night before, and Everton knowing that a victory would put them up amongst the front runners. Peter Brackley reports.
The cruel jibes of recent years are surely now forgotten. Under the shrewd management of Howard Kendall, one of Goodison's favourite sons, of course, Everton have gradually balanced the scales of power on Merseyside. Fans like this young fellow parade their banners with pride now, the events of the season so far confirming the belief of Everton supporters that their team are at last emerging from Liverpool's shadow. In a highly competitive match with Villa, Everton appear sluggish early on. They're somewhat fortunate to find themselves in front through a Graham Sharp goal. And 2 minutes from half-time, Villa equalise. Gary Williams crossing for Peter With to squeeze in a perfectly placed header. Everton, though, dominate an enthralling second half, and there's soon the chance to regain their lead. Graham Sharp is pulled down by Tony Dorigo, a penalty despite heated Villa protests. A quiet word of advice from former Everton player Steve McMahon in Mervyn Day's ear may not have helped Adrian Heath's concentration. Whatever the reason, his kick is tamely struck and Day saves with his legs. Within minutes, Villa survive again. Heath, clearly undeterred by his penalty miss, wriggles through. Sharp's unable to apply the finishing touch. Day is by far the busier of the two goalkeepers, but Everton's Neville Southall isn't totally redundant. This fine save denying poor ride-out. The Frenchman Didier Six hitting his shot wide. Six taking time to adjust to the pace of British football, and he's later substituted. But Everton's superiority at last brings its reward after a series of near misses. Peter Reid finds Sharp, who intelligently chests the ball into the path of Heath for Everton's winner. So Everton can now look forward eagerly to next week's derby match with Liverpool, but sensibly, Howard Kendall remains cautious on any change in Merseyside's balance of power.
You've got to assess that over a longer period of time than what we've just had. I mean, Liverpool have had a sticky start in the league, but that's all. They're through at the next round of the Milk Cup. They're through the next round in European competition. So it takes a longer period of time than that. I mean, we're just delighted the way things are going here. We've got a little bit of a concern at the moment because we've got a number of players injured, and we're trying to get them fit as quickly as possible. We're down to 11 today. No, we've got a derby match next week, which we're looking forward to. But you know, there's no way we'll be shouting our mouths off yet, or if ever, until we've actually done something which they haven't.
And of course, Howard's right. It will take some time to match Liverpool's amazing record over the years. But a victory that puts Everton in 6th place. Liverpool, well, you almost have to rub your eyes today to be sure. They're now 16th in the table, but of course, still a long way to go. Hats off to Howard Kendall, though. At the moment, then, Arsenal at the top. Their North London rivals, Spurs, are second. Now, if you're running a quiz today, how about this for a question? What have John Gregory of Queen's Park Rangers and Kenny Hibbett of Coventry got in common? Here's the answer, of course. Both conceded penalties yesterday. Gregory with this handball against Ipswich. Hibbett with this handball against Newcastle. And how remarkable that both redeemed themselves, both scored their sides' equalising goals. Some coincidence that. Good afternoon.
And Hibbett curls it brilliantly. That will make him feel better.
Played in again by Stainrod, and it very nearly went in there. Gregory! 1-1.